Welcome back. All right, so some news of the day for all you fine people for your Monday, December the 19th. There's a trade that has been made. Kind of surprised it happens this close to Christmas, but hey, these things do happen. We are not in the midst of the roster freeze yet. There is a roster freeze to make sure guys don't get traded during Christmas break. So Dennis Malgin has been traded by Toronto to the Colorado Avalanche. In 23 games, he has 2 goals, 2 assists for 4 points. It wasn't working out with Malgin in Toronto. What started off as a pretty good, feel-good story of a return to the NHL just wasn't working out. So he goes to Colorado. In exchange, the Toronto Maple Leafs get Dryden Hunt. Dryden Hunt in 28 games this year has 2 goals. Now, what's interesting is those first 3 games were with the Rangers. The Rangers put him on waivers. And on October 20th, Colorado had actually picked up Dryden Hunt for nothing on waivers. And so they pick up Malgin for a player that they got for free less than 2 months ago. That's a pretty good return for Joe Sakic. Both of these players are bottom 6 forwards who have trouble with finishing. The advanced stats tell you defensively they're both solid, but offensively it just hasn't been there for either player. They're both scoreless for quite a while. So this is a case of 2 depth players who needed a change of scenery, and a case of Colorado getting an asset for somebody they got for nothing. So I'm wearing an Avalanche jersey because I think that's a good move on Colorado's part. And no, I don't think this is the start of a lot of trades to come. But at least it's 2 NHLers, and we'll see how things work out with Hunt in Toronto. When Dryden Hunt was starting out, I did think there was some upside there. At this point, probably not. But either way, bottom 6 forward, hard worker, all that fun stuff. I think both players, they're similar. And again, it just feels like a change of scenery was needed for both players. And from a salary cap perspective, Malgin, I think, is $750K, and Dryden Hunt is $762,500 is his cap hit. So very little difference between the two, and we'll see how it goes for both teams. The Vancouver Canucks with a couple of moves today. Travis Dermott sent to the American Hockey League, so he's coming down to Abbotsford on a conditioning stint. This is great news. Dermott has been out all year, concussion and all that, and so this means that he's getting closer to a return when they do the conditioning stint down to the AHL. That's a good sign. And Silovs has been recalled on an emergency basis. Delia is sent down to the AHL because Delia's wife just had a baby. So because Colin Delia will be, there for that and all of that, that means that Silovs gets called up and likely the backup for the game between Vancouver and St. Louis tonight. So congratulations to Colin Delia and his family. That's always exciting news. Speaking of exciting news, if you're an Oilers fan, there seems to be a lot of support for this deal from Oilers fans. There are a few that are concerned, but and I've seen some comments as well about how much Campbell makes in comparison. But Stuart Skinner signs a 3-year extension with the signs an extension. With the Edmonton Oilers, worth $2.6 million per season. So for Skinner, he's been good. It is a little over half of what Campbell's getting. Yes, I did see a lot of those comments today, but really, in all honesty, it's a good deal, I think. If Skinner continues to play the way that he has so far. There's some risk in giving a goaltender that kind of money. There's always that risk with a goaltender that doesn't have a really big NHL resume at this point, because there are cases where you have a goaltender come into the league, he plays really well, and sticks around for a long time. There are also cases of goaltenders coming in, playing really well, NHLers figuring out where a weakness might be, whether it's glove side, blocker side, high, low, and then that goaltender can have some struggles. So with Skinner, the Oilers believe in him, so we'll see how things work out. Let me know your thoughts regarding this deal and whether or not you think that's a good one. Tomas Hertl has a hearing today for a high stick last night on Elias Lindholm. It was a chippy game, but to be honest, I'm a little bit surprised that the Chicago Rangers game didn't end up with some kind of an incident. I'm not saying that there was anything that warranted it. It just felt like of the games that were played yesterday, that was the one that had the highest temperature and the most chirping between the benches. But yeah, Hertl has a hearing today, which means it's probably a game. I don't think it'll be more than that, because generally with the high sticking incidents, they seem to be a little more lenient than with some of the other fouls that are rendered suspension worthy. But we will see. That should be a fun one. Also, last night, San Jose's Erik Karlsson reached 700 points. Impressive when a defenseman reaches that many points as a total in their career. So for Karlsson, he's had a really strong comeback season. He's coming out of a slow spot too in his stats, where for about a 10-game period there, I noticed he hadn't had a goal and he'd had a few assists, but he's picked up the scoring again. So I don't expect him to score 100 points this year, but could he hit 80? He could absolutely hit 80, and then all the questions of whether or not you can trade his contract start coming up again. I think the answer is no, but that's me. Bad news out of Philly today. Cam Atkinson is not going to play. He needs neck surgery, so he will not return this season. So his career's on hold until next October at the earliest. And all the best to Atkinson on that. It is scary when you get into that kind of thing with the amount of time he's already missed. Obviously, these guys are paid very well to play hockey, but you want them to have a good standard of living after they've retired as well. So for Atkinson, take as much time as he needs, I guess, would be my advice. And for the Flyers, it's been a rough season. We knew it was going to be a rough season, but it did start off with a little bit of promise there, and then that was gone. So we'll see how things go for Philly, but they will be without Atkinson for the rest of this season. Let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. As always, don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happened upon this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, for all your support. I will talk to you again soon.